Happy spring. This Thursday, early this Thursday morning, will be the spring equinox. And so the first day of spring, also known as the first day of spring. And I always like to talk a little bit about the equinoxes and solstices because they're kind of the four cardinal points on the medicine wheel, and the medicine wheel that, in my tradition, the spring gate of the medicine wheel is actually a gate. It actually has two stones when we build it. This summer solstice we'll build a medicine wheel in the meadow, and all the other directions have one stone, but the east gate is a gate. And it's where we enter the wheel and we walk around. We actually go into the wheel in the ceremony. And so it's kind of where the cycle begins. We enter and we exit from the east, from the springtime. The east is the time of springtime and new beginnings. And that kind of peaks at that energy, that space on the medicine wheel. On that, it kind of peaks on the spring equinox. So what that means is it's on the earth. The medicine, all these shamanic and aboriginal traditions are very earth-based because they had to be in tune with the earth to survive. They had to be in direct connection with the earth to survive. So, and they learned, they cycled with the earth as we do because we're part of the earth, whether at least that's my belief, my truth. And so what's happening in the earth with the seasons is also happening inside of us, is what this tradition would say. And so what's happening is it's a time of new beginnings. It's a time of birth. It's a time when the plants and the animals are being born and conceived. And so the spring equinox is therefore a excellent time for that. It's a time for something new to be born. It's a time for something new to be conceived, created, envisioned. Something inside of ourselves, it's time for it to awaken. Something outside of ourselves, it's a time for us to envision it and to conceive it and create it. Energetically, the creation in the spring, it first happens energetically. At least that's also my truth. Sometimes it can happen, physically as well, but often it's conceived energetically. It's conceived. We envision it, and it often has no form yet. The idea of it is born. It's conceived, but it doesn't have form yet often. So these are all things of the spring, and so it makes for a really excellent time to create something new. And so what we can do with that is it's a great time to think about what the next thing in your evolution is, what in this coming cycle of this year, which begins in the spring, like what would you like to develop? What does it make sense to develop? You did this last year, you did that other thing the year before, and there's kind of this, what is it time to develop? What is it time to work with next? And that the knowledge of that is what often comes from spirit, from the vision. That's why you can do a vision quest, or it comes in dreams or in meditation or in shamanic journeys, in insights and intuition. We're shown, like spirit or life shows us what the next thing for us to work with is. What's the next thing in our life to do, to develop, to unfold, And so that's where it can come. There's two parts really. There's the what is it time for? What does it make sense to develop next? And what's in the plan of your spiritual growth and development your emotional development, your relationships. What does it make sense now for your intimate relationship, your partner relationship, your relationship with your children? What does it make sense for in your career or your job? What does it make sense in your community and your phase of life you're in? And whatever, what does it make sense? What's the next thing? What does the next cycle hold for you? So that we can understand from, just kind of going inside and getting information, intuitively knowing what that thing is, feeling what does it feel like it's time to do next. The other part of it is what do you choose to develop next? Like, what would you like to develop next? What do you feel like? And what do you choose? Because both of these, what we're doing is we're making this time of spring, which is a very fertile time. It's a time we can conceive. It's almost as like, it's almost like it would picture the womb being really fertile, to be impregnated, to be conceived. It's a time where the energy is perfect to conceive something, to create something, to impregnate something, it's perfect time for that energetically. So what often happens is, we're always creating things, whether we realize it or not. What often happens when we don't consider these things is we just create the same thing unconsciously. We create something unconsciously, and it just is kind of just by default, it's like, oh, I guess I'll do that again, because no decision kind of gives us the past decision, and we just and so a lot of people, unfortunately, from my perspective, it's unfortunate, they unconsciously create the same life over and over again. But if we bring some awareness in, some consciousness into it, by what does it make sense to unfold next? What would I like to unfold next? And then I think I'll do that. I think that's what I'll create this year. And then we offer an intention, a prayer, and just declaring to life, to our people, to ourselves, that I think I would like to create this year. I think I would like to awaken this thing inside of me this year. So we're consciously choosing what we want to create. We're listening, what does it make sense to do next? What's our vision? What does it make sense to do next? And then we're choosing and we're considering what we'd like to create next. And then we're making a choice, a conscious choice about what we would like to unfold and create in our life in this cycle. And then we offer, in ceremony, we might do that in the form of a prayer or, an intention. And we'd say, life, spirit, I would like to create this year, this cycle. This is the next thing I want to work with. I want to partner with you because a intention creates a partnership with life, with spirit, is like when we offer that, then life works with us to create that and unfold that thing and presents doorways and support for that. So that's why it's such, in my opinion, possibly one of the most powerful times of the year. It's when we choose what we want and consider. We kind of take what the winter's been this time of introspection, and we think about what works, what didn't work, what we liked about our life, what we maybe would like to have different in our life, all those things. So now it's time, it's like, okay, let's plant some seeds here. Let's start intending the new thing. Let's consider what are our possibilities and make some choices. It's like, and just to begin that process. And then to offer that intention, and then that's what we can work with this coming year. So that is my video for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Happy spring equinox, and maybe just consider like what you would like to create this year, what you'd like to unfold this year, what you would like, what does it make sense to develop next in yourself or to awaken in yourself. And think about what you'd like to do, and make a choice and offer an intention, and then you can start unfolding this thing inside yourself, and it will develop as we go around the medicine wheel. And so I will see you in a week.